The Haitians in Springfield are not migrants. They're paid mercenaries, occupiers, and soldiers of a foreign army supported by American tax dollars. You said there were 20,000 here. Now you're backtracking on the number. Were you lying then, or are you lying now? It's national news that FEMA spent all of its funding on migrants, and there is nothing left for hard-hit Americans of hurricanes and flooding disasters who are currently in desperate need of those funds. People are angry that you and others like you put foreign invaders first and Americans last. Thank you.
I was here 6 weeks ago and I asked for my money back because we didn't have enough police on the force from that levy that we paid. I got a letter from Jill Allen telling me that individuals cannot get money back. So I want to ask today, did Jill Allen receive a letter from an attorney about the number of police that are on the force? I know I have 3 minutes, but I'm not going to read all of this. As you know, the city charter combined with an additional tax levy in 2017 that requires that a full-time police force of 130 sworn officers be on the streets. Section 97 of the city imposed tax on the property owners in the city of Springfield was supposed to support this levy. This section of the chapter requires that for the duration of the assessment, the Springfield Police Division shall consist of no fewer than 124 officers. Therefore, the total number of sworn officers is not at full capacity. As of today, we have 119. The chapter also requires that all money generated by the assessment shall be placed in a separate interest-bearing fund, and any and all interest accrued remain in such fund. Any monies only for the maintenance of the force is required by Section 97 of the Charter. To the extent that the taxpayers are using these funds for the city, you should also demand that such funds be returned to the taxpayers from the city of Springfield. Since City Council and City Manager have been well aware of this failure to maintain an accurate police force. So therefore, you have 14 days to respond to this or legal action will be taken.
Wow.
Thank you, Mike. Jerry Taylor, 6552 Fletcher Chapel Road. Please take the podium.
Look at that Mammy Crystal Brown up there.
Glenn Bailey, 732 Mound.
I have some questions. Whose idea was Haitian Flag Day? Who approved it? What nonprofits did the city coordinate with to implement it? Did Haitians pay to use Veterans Park for their concert? Or did a nonprofit pay for it? Does the rent you receive come from any government agency or nonprofit? If so, which ones? Today, a video broke of a Haitian cutting up what appears to be a dog in a backyard at Red Coach Village. There are other videos all over the internet that shows Haitians torturing and consuming cats and dogs.
We got the video.
You can deny it's happening, but the facts prove you wrong. Most Haitians are born at home with no doctor in attendance to certify the birth. There is no functional government agency in Haiti that is handing.
I said we got the video. Yeah, I want to see the video. Maybe I'll play it. Maybe I'll play it.
Out official birth certificates. Haitians are creating false identities through the CBP One app using their phones. You don't know who they are or what their background is, yet you protect them instead of the citizens who pay your salaries. This issue is not going away anytime soon, and it will only grow larger the longer it takes for you to start protecting the American citizens of the city. The Haitians in Springfield are not migrants. They're paid mercenaries, occupiers, and soldiers of a foreign army supported by American tax dollars. You said there were 20,000 here. Now you're backtracking on the number. Were you lying then, or are you lying now? It's national news that FEMA spent all of its funding on migrants, and there is nothing left for hard-hit Americans of hurricanes and flooding disasters who are currently in desperate need of those funds. People are angry that you and others like you put foreign invaders first and Americans last. Thank you.
Diane Daniels, 40 Hedgeley Road.
She looked like she might be melanated. Looking at that ponytail, looking at that kitchen back there. I don't know. You guys tell me it is Springfield, so, you know. They don't discriminate.
who are currently in desperate need of those funds. People are angry that you and others like you put foreign invaders first and Americans last. Thank you.
Diane Daniels, 40 Hedgley Road. No, would you please, sir, you're going to have to leave. Sir, hey, sir, can I please have the police take care of this quickly? Also, the individual in the back. The individual in the back also, please.
America has messed up the rest of the world even worse than what it's done in this country.
The individual in the back also.
Is a fascist. The Democrats are war criminals.
Hey.
The Democrats are war criminals. What it's done in this country.
The individual in the back also.
Is a fascist. The Democrats are war criminals.
Hey.
So he doesn't like anybody.
Hey, Miss Bailey,
Dig
the
it.
gentleman in the back, everybody that was causing unrest, and the gentleman here, thank you so much. Would you leave too, Miss Bailey? And then whoever else was yelling needs to go, please.
This lady right here.
Glenda, I'd like you to go first, please.
You fucking know.
Somebody got snitched on.
Fucking pussy.
You're going to ask me to leave. This lady needs
Whoever outburst, I'm going to ask you to leave, please.
Such language.
If you outburst, please, on your own, leave. Thank you.
Man need a drink.
Diane Daniels.
Thank you. First of all, I'd like to do a little public service announcement to normies out there who get most of their news from MSNBC and so on. I'd like to say thank you to the investigative reporters that have been here in Springfield over the last 3 to 4 weeks that have produced amazing copy and have dug up an awful lot of information. First of all, I'd like to thank Asra Q. Nomani from the Jewish Journal, who has produced 2 perfectly amazing pieces about what's happening in Springfield. And for those of us who have read her articles, we have come to an understanding that there are 2 sets of victims. And I want to thank her from the bottom of my heart for changing me, at least a little bit. We, the American citizens here in Springfield, are victims, but so are the Haitians. They are being victimized to the most heinous degree by people here in Springfield that are American citizens and are Haitian as well. Her first 2 pieces are amazing. I can't wait to hear her third one when she starts to name a few more names here in Springfield. It will be amazing. I'd also like to thank Jack Windsor from Ohio Press Network, who is still on the job reporting about things in Springfield. I would also like to thank John Lauterbach from Epic Times, who is also producing excellent investigative pieces. I would also like to thank Christopher James Anderson, who has dug up a lot of very interesting, how shall I say it, videos that has given me some insight as to what has been going on here in Springfield. I'd also like to give a PSA about how to help the people in North Carolina and in the mountains. Do not give any money to any national organization. They will waste your money. The best ones to give to, from my research, are Samaritan's Purse, with Franklin Graham, Grindstone Ministries, and Guns and Gadgets. I'd like to ask a couple of questions, but I only have a couple. I'm going to ask this one more time, and I want an answer. Who wrote the copy for the facts on immigration, especially the question about challenges the city faces, referring to those of us here in the audience as racist and intolerant? I want to know that person's name now.
Thank you, Dan.
Lawsuit.
Lisa Hayes, 1503 Maiden Lane.
I smell litigation. I say, little mama, she always there.
Hello, good evening. I haven't spoke for a few weeks. I've been doing a lot of listening. And I had sent a thing to a friend of mine who put a document on my page about this other city who looks at our city as being racist, looks at our city as not being able to help one another. I got to tell you, I'm not a bit racist. You know, I don't have hate in my heart. I have not ever had hate in my heart. And I too agree with Diana about the Haitians are victims too. We're victims, and so are the Haitians. I could not imagine going to another country where I couldn't even speak the language and be thrown into there, taken to jobs, because that's what we've done. We've taken them to jobs that you say we wouldn't work. I don't think any of us were ever asked, honestly. I know I wasn't. I was a machinist for 10 years. I tried to get a machinist job today. It's like because they look at my age that I wouldn't be able to do that job. I got to tell you, I can still machine. I can still machine at 64 years old. The other thing is, I sent to this friend of mine, I'm going to try to read it to you. Okay, my 20-year-old granddaughter, which some of you will remember, was not able to get Medicaid for 4 months. We were $300 out of pocket. And the reason is because we were taking care of everybody else that was coming into our city, that we didn't have time to look at the citizens that were already here, citizens that work 2 full-time jobs, not just one. She works 2 full-time jobs, and she's now 6 months pregnant and still working those 2 full-time jobs. Okay? So Social Security, I couldn't get into Social Security forever. I just now had to figure out what day of the week is going to be good for me to go down there and talk to them about retiring. So I sent this to her. I don't have an ounce of hate in me. Definitely not a racist. Definitely not a racist. And honestly, I get tired of people looking at me like that because, racism can go both ways. It really can. And that's something I think we all need to take a look at. Not all Haitian people are like what I have described, because I described to her a couple incidents that happened to me in the grocery store where I was blocked from going down an aisle, to my 20-year-old granddaughter while she was standing in Job and Family Services trying to get her paperwork scanned. She had one Haitian male in front of her. He got closer to her, and the other Haitian male behind her, and they kind of sandwiched. But I don't identify each Haitian in that manner. I don't have that kind of stuff in my heart. But yes,
That's called the Haitian hot pocket.
incidents are happening. And not only are they happening to the Haitians or to us, but they're also happening to the Haitians. I believe that. I believe that with everything I got. You don't take a bunch of people and cram them into one
We
little
see your
city
time's up. Thank
and
you
expect
for,
them all to get
you
along.
would take a seat. We'll have Catalina Rimusat come up,
Exactly.
please.
Exactly. It's
1333
common
St. Paris
sense.
Pike.
Street. Yeah, I was hoping this week we could get back to answering some questions that came up last week that didn't get addressed. For instance, I asked, and I know Mark Edwards asked, I think Isaac Eldridge asked, among other people, is like, we've heard, and now I found out it's from the police chief of Tremont City, a verification of what we understood, that migrant drivers are being allowed to walk away without being cited from accidents that they've caused, or drive away from accidents they caused. And we were wondering if that was to protect their temporary protected status. Also, Mark has brought up several times housing code violations where too many people are packed into individual houses, and we've never heard anything about that. I'd like that addressed. Diane has brought up in my first meeting. I brought up it'd be nice. I know your allies like to paint all our concerns as racist, but the most of the concerns I see are about affordable housing, about traffic safety, about public health. So I would like a citizen panel, that would have access to information, not just our 3 minutes here, but actually people to come to you with the concerns we have so that they can be addressed. Instead, we get called names, and we would like that addressed. Thank you.
Thank you, Bill. Annette Stanley, 3454.
There was an ancient philosopher lived long ago who said that the only constant is change. We face changes throughout our lives. The question is how well we work through the changes that come. That happens for us personally and physically, but it happens socially, it happens politically, it happens all kinds of ways. Often contending with change is certainly not easy. So here we are contending with change. In the past years, our community has been changing. In decline, it has been changing. Our situation in recent years, due to a changing economy, cooperative efforts of many, have opened the door to growth in recent years. Now, instead of change that was steady decline, we've had major population growth and the attending economic benefits. Nonetheless, we have obviously had serious consequences to deal with in the face of all that. The reactions, as we know, have led to many unfortunate outcomes. What I have observed is that our new neighbors, the Haitians, are working to respond to this reality as many others in our community have been doing. We've received encouragement from across our country and other parts of the world. It will take patience, kindness, listening, but together we can move to what is better for us all in these changing times.
Yeah, so he's basically telling the citizens, deal with it. You're going to have to be patient and kind and considerate while your way of life is just being tread upon.
My thanks to
And Pop, you lived your life. You feel me? So, once you get to this stage of life, it's easy to philosophize about change. Boy, you don't already made your peace with the good Lord, you're probably ready to go. But there's people out here who still, got a lot of life left to live, and not sitting well with the speed and the dysfunction in which the changes are being made. And these are not changes that couldn't be avoided. They could have been avoided. So yeah, so that's about it for the public comments. Again, and I fully agree. To some extent, change is a constant, but it's the speed in which these changes are occurring, and it's the haphazard way in which they're being forced upon the residents of Springfield, New York City, Chicago, Aurora, Illinois. What was the name of this city down in Alabama? But it's happening nationwide. So, and this can continue if we get 4 more years of Democratic policies with Kamala Harris. So I don't even want to think about it right now. But hey, thanks for riding with me tonight. Smash like on this video. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. Check out some of this great content that I have. And I appreciate you for tuning in. See you on the other side. It's your man online, Bill Money, signing off.